in the news over the last few weeks, and especially over the last few days, there's been a real highlight in the recent shortage of hormone replacement therapy products, a treatment that is used to ease symptoms of the menopause. Now, pharmacists have been given temporary powers to offer women alternatives to their normal HRT treatment if theirs is out of stock. Now, last week I went to meet Kathrine Winter. Now, Kathrine got in touch with me to share her story of dealing with the less talked about transitional period before the menopause. I urge you to listen to this, because this, for me, is one of the most insightful things I've ever heard in the whole of my broadcasting career, which spans nearly 30 years. And Kathrine has taught me so much. So please have a listen.
I was diagnosed with perimenopause in April 2021. Early for my age, had symptoms of poor sleep, hot flushes, sweats. I phoned the GP thinking, it must be my thyroid. Got a relatively young male GP, so generally you think, get a female GP, they'll know what they're talking about. He was fantastic. It wasn't a face-to-face consultation, we were in the middle of COVID, so it was over the phone, and he said straight away, I need you to come in, let's check your bloods. I think you're in perimenopause. Well, I'd never heard of that term. I've heard of menopause. You know, you have a tropical moment, as they used to call them, didn't you? You used to see your mum go red and, open the window, a little flush. So I'd never heard of perimenopause. And so off I went and had the blood test and ended up going back to the GP for something else and saying, what was that blood result? And basically told, actually, you're in perimenopause. I was offered HRT, but I wasn't really given any information about it. It was just, do you want this or not? I like to know what's going into my body. I like to know the side effects. I'm a nurse by background. I'm a public health nurse, so I wanted to know everything about it before I said, yes, please, I'll have that. And as the year went over last year, I got more and more ailments with my body, but I didn't put 2 and 2 together and come up with 4. I just thought, I'm getting old. I mean, I was only 43, but I thought, I'm 44, I'm getting old. Concentration went, motivation, joint pains, aches, crying, irritable, anxious, low mood. My hair was falling out. And as a woman, losing her hair, it's a big thing, and I've always had long hair, and I've always looked after my hair, and I like to, style my hair, but it got to the point where I was frightened to wash it. I was frightened to brush it, because it was just teeming out. Vaginal dryness, which is a taboo that people don't want to talk about, and I'm here to go, let's talk about it actually, because it's a debilitating symptom. I was struggling to walk, I was struggling to stand, I was struggling to sit, I was struggling to wear clothes, I wasn't telling anybody about it. I had crawling sensations on the skin, so I thought, but I thought it was like a tactile hallucination. Right. I thought, no, there's nothing there, why am I? But it was a strange feeling. I thought my skin on my feet were going to rip during the night. I was getting up and lathering them in just the coldest cream I could get. So even though I was cold, there was only cold cream that could alleviate some of those awful symptoms. And these are symptoms that are not talked about. Yeah. And it's not talked about this perimenopause stage. So the average age that a woman goes through menopause is 51. Years and years and years ago, the average age was 57. The life expectancy was 59. So you only had 2 years to live after menopause, because we were designed to have babies and die.
Well, effectively, that's a machine, aren't you?
We were, yeah. What we know now is that our menopause average is 51. But these perimenopause symptoms can be up to 10 years before the menopause happens. So that can be from 41. 1 in 100 women can have menopause under 40, and 1 in 1,000 women under 30 can have menopause symptoms, and that's not talked about. Yeah. Our life expectancy as a woman is around 82, 83. So now we've got 30 years of living post-menopause. So if we think of all those symptoms that I've talked about that I've had, including the brain fog that I forgot, but I've got it wrote down. I've got it wrote down, Gary.
It's ironic, isn't it?
It's ironic, yeah. I forgot that. Oh yeah, it's down on there. I often lose my train of thought. You talk to some people, and what's really difficult and frustrating is people go, we all go through that, Kathrine. Well, yeah, we do actually. Even children go, why did I come in here? We do, but actually this is more than just the realms of getting older where we go, oh, have I come in here for my keys? Where have I put my keys? I forgot my own name 2 weeks ago.
That must have been tough.
That was awful.
No,
that was really awful.
And all these things are happening to you as a human being, and you don't know how to control these.
Sorry. That was horrendous, and I just didn't know what it was. I'd gone into a shop to collect an item, and I had to give my name, and I couldn't remember. Sorry.
That's all right. I've known you for a long time.
Yeah.
This is very hard for me to watch you go through this, and I want to give you a big cuddle, but your husband's just there, and he's bigger than me.
Yeah. It's been awful, Gary. It's been I've hidden a lot of it from Stephen.
Why hide it?
Because I thought I was just getting old, and I didn't know, and it's not talked about. So I didn't know all of this that I was going through was related to my hormones. I thought it was because I was working more. I was busy at work for the NHS. Life takes over, yeah. And I just thought, I'm just getting old. I couldn't run anymore. I used to run all the time, and I couldn't run. And I had physio, and she basically said, your calves are a mess. They're an absolute mess. I was having back problems. I've got bulging discs. I was having problems with my breasts. I was finding lumps all the time. They kept sending me for mammograms. It was just one thing after another that was just building up. I had severe postnatal depression after Adam. When the low mood and anxiety came back, I just thought, I can't do this. The brick wall, if you like, was in March the 2nd this year. I was at work, working from home, and a meeting got changed. I should have been to a meeting at 11 o'clock, and it got changed to 3 o'clock. And in my job, that's normal. That happens all the time. And I couldn't work out. Well, what do you mean it's changing? I couldn't work out how that could happen.
So that cognitive function is just gone.
I was at home, and I'd phoned the secretary just to say, can I just double check you've changed this meeting? And I kept saying it, and she said to me, are you all right? And I went, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
And I got off the phone, and I just started crying. And I phoned the GP immediately, because I was frightened that the journey I was going down was postnatal depression similar again, and I didn't know what was happening to me. And I got in to see the doctor. He was everything that you dream a doctor should be about, the old-fashioned doctors, and he never once looked at his computer screen, and he just looked at me and he said, it's okay. We can get you well. This is your hormones, Kathrine.
And is that the reassurance you need?
Yeah. And I was like, I'm not going mad, am I? And he went, no. He prescribed me the gel so that I could be in control, so that I could give myself a little bit more on the days that I was struggling.
Yeah.
You can't get the gel because of the shortage. So the pharmacist said, we can't get the gel. There was confusion, and then I had to go back, and then the nurse wasn't understanding what I was saying. So eventually I spoke to another doctor, and she said, we'll increase your patch and we'll give you a Mirena coil, which can help. And in the middle of all of this, Gary, was the vaginal dryness. It was awful. She prescribed pessaries and cream and things like that. So that took that bit away. So that was great. But then the anxiety and the brain fog was just... Some symptoms went, so the joint pain started to go, headache started to go, my hair stopped falling out. But this brain fog was just, I'd be in the middle of a sentence and I'd start on something else. Or I'd stop the sentence and walk away.
A train of thought.
And people were like, well, is she coming back to finish her sentence? So that didn't go. What I found was there's no support for women.
There's nothing.
There's nothing. So, you can give us a patch, and you can give us a bit of cream if it's available, and you can give us a pessary, and you can sit and listen to us as a doctor. But then when I come out of that surgery, there's nothing. I can join a couple of online groups. I can follow people on Instagram. But what is there where I can go face to face to have a chat with another woman and say, hey, where have you put your keys this week? Where did you find, like, where was the funniest place you put your keys? And, you know, just to have that support. And what I found was there's nothing, there's nowhere.
I've known you for a long time, and I'm sitting here and I feel so sad that you have felt so lonely. Even though you weren't lonely, you've got a wonderful family, I know your family, but for you to feel so lonely breaks my heart.
Gosh, I've really found out who my friends are, and they're exactly who I thought they were.
Yes, which is a good thing.
Oh my God, I've made friends through getting out on my 10,000 steps a day. I've made another really good friend, and a colleague I had at work who I got on with so well. She has been amazing. Every day somebody's texted me. Every day someone said,
that
right,
means the world, doesn't it?
yeah, because it means I matter. I've got an amazing support network around me. There's nothing for women in this area, and I'm going to change that. Sorry.
No,
I'm going to tell my story because I'm not ashamed, because I'm going to help somebody.
Which is the kindest thing that anyone can do. You don't want others to feel how you feel.
No, not at all. Sometimes you don't want your family to hear how lonely you're feeling. Sometimes you just want to talk to somebody else.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want to go somewhere in a safe place, in a confidential place. And like you say, people who've walked in them shoes, there's nothing, Gary. I've had to try and keep my
You've thrown yourself into this,
yeah,
haven't you?
I had to, because I was frightened and I wasn't going to let it control me.
I know you're on the Instagram. Could this take a physical form where it could be a group meeting? We can meet here. It could be like a flash mob, you know, meet in a cafe, and we can all come together and we can talk about, because we need that frankness, we need that openness, because no one should walk in that path that you've done on their own.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So yeah, absolutely. I started the menopause, peridot menopause journey, which is my journey, and I thought, this isn't enough. So I had another sleepless night, and I just came to us during the night. I was like, I'm not putting up with this. This is not fair. What about other women? There's other women who don't have what I have. There's women who are on their own, who are physically on their own, and they use social media as a way to have like contact,
yes,
connections, and they use it to learn and things. I want to support women in this area, and I want women to feel in control.
But most of all, how are you now? How are you feeling now?
Tired. I'm tired because when I've done a few things in one day, I get exhausted. You know, I get quite fatigued. I don't know how I'm feeling. I'm feeling better than I was 2.5 months ago. My hair's not falling out, my skin's better, my mood is improving, my anxiety's... I know my name, Gary, so that's always...
It's okay. Is it every day at a time?
Is it, you know, well, it's just, I'm getting there. But I'm getting there with the support of my family and my amazing friends. And I'm getting there knowing that women are going to feel better because they're going to be supported. Rather than... Because often women can feel like this for up to 7 years before they realise. And
it's not
okay.
Not acceptable.
No.
It's really not.
40 years ago, we didn't talk about cancer. We talk about cancer now. 15 years ago, we didn't really talk about mental health, but we talk about it now. So let's break that taboo and let's break that cycle.
This is the next thing, and you're the one to do it. You are a superstar.
Well,
and thank you very much.
That. No, you're welcome.
Honest, frank, and eye-opening. Genuinely, I'm listening to that again because that's the first time I've listened back to that since I spoke to Kathrine last week. And as a man, I have learned so much, and it's just a real eye-opener. And you can find Kathrine on Instagram. It's peri.menopausejourney on Instagram. But also, she's got a fantastic Facebook group. It's called the Female Hormone Deficiency Support Group. And she puts loads of stuff on there. And then every month, coming to every fortnight in Setchfield, at Casa, which is the cafe in Setchfield, guest speakers go and talk about things that affect women and families with the menopause. And Kathrine is doing so much stuff to try to break that taboo. And I want to help. And I said, look, if anything I can do to help, please, and support. So that on the socials, on Facebook, it's Female Hormone Deficiency Support Group. It's a private group. You can ask to join, be on there, and then on the Instagram, you can find Kathrine at peri.menopausejourney. This is your BBC Radio Tees. These are your stories, and if I can help you to get your story out there, you have us. You've got us. It starts with that email. It's garyp@bbc.co.uk.